balance issues, light sensitivity, sleep disturbances, nausea, dizziness, ear ringing, jaw pain, headaches, migraines, stiff neck, TMJ problems, teeth clenching, shoulder pain, pain between the shoulder blades, cold hands, sweaty hands, shortness of breath, pain in your ribs, low back pain, stiff low back, disc problems or herniated discs, gas, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel, irregularity, heavy cycles, abnormal cycles, pain in the legs, pain in the knees, restless legs, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, panic attacks, sleep disturbances, memory issues, and the list goes on and on. It's no surprise that if you go to the doctor, they seem to have little or no solutions to address all of these seemingly unconnected symptoms. But in this video, I'm going to share with you the one system that connects all of the different symptoms and what you can do to heal yourself. Hey, I'm Dr. Sam McDonald. I'm a brain health expert, and this channel is dedicated to helping you rewire your brain so that you can live a better life. If you love this content, make sure to like and subscribe so you get the notifications for each week's new video. So the one system that connects all of these seemingly disconnected symptoms all across the body is the nervous system. And the nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord, and it connects to every muscle, organ, and tissue in the entire body. This is the main communication system of your body, and it's responsible for keeping everything in check, as well as keeping everything running smoothly. So let's take a look at some of these symptoms, starting with the traditional fibromyalgia, tender points needed for a diagnosis. So your nervous system functions in two different states. You have what's called your fight or flight state. This is your sympathetic part of your nervous system. Think of this as like the gas pedal. And then you have your resting, digesting, and healing part of your nervous system. This is the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, aka the brake pedal. So gas pedal and brake pedal. So anytime you go into a fight or flight state, your body's going to go into defensive posture, which means it's going to start to pull the shoulders up, and it's going to start to pull the shoulders forward, and the head's going to start to come forward. At the same time, the hip flexors are going to start to get really tight, as well as the hamstrings, because your body is prepping itself to go into a fight mode or a flight mode, meaning you're going to fight the defense or you're going to run away from it. Your body's primed and ready to do that. So over time, your nervous system is going to start to habituate itself in these chronic fight or flight states the more often you do it. So your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real or a perceived stress. So just because there's no tiger around the corner, your brain is perceiving things like work, traffic, finances, family relationships, holidays, pandemic, all the typical things we experience in our daily life. Your brain is perceiving those as a stress, thus triggering you into that fight or flight state more often. So the more often you're in the fight or flight state, the more you're going into these defensive posture modes. And when your muscles are in a chronic tightened state for a long time, they start to produce what's called lactic acid. Lactic acid is the same stuff that gets into your muscles after you exercise at the gym that makes them sore. But when you're in that chronic fight or flight state, you're constantly producing this. You need certain B vitamins to convert that lactic acid back into what's called pyruvate to get it out of the muscles and back into usable forms in the body. But when you're in a chronic fight or flight state, you don't have the necessary B vitamins because you're using them to run the rest of the system in the body. So now you can't convert that lactic acid back into what it needs to be. You get these chronic pain points. Boom, now you have those fibro pain tender points needed for the diagnosis, and they're not going away. Because when you're in a chronic fight or flight state, you also are not in digesting food mode, which means no matter what you're eating, even if you're eating organic, fresh, farm-raised fruits and vegetables and meats, you're taking the most high-quality supplements, your body is not in a state to absorb that food. It's not in a state to break it down and assimilate it and turn it into you, which means now you're becoming more and more nutrient dense as you're running the system at high levels all the time. So now it's going to lead you to things like chronic fatigue or nutrient deficiency problems because you're not pulling that nutrients out of the food and putting it into your body. The next thing that starts to happen is now you get problems with nausea, irritable bowel, problems with constipation, diarrhea, digestive issues. Again, because your body is not in that healing, relaxation, digesting mode, it's in survival mode. So here's all the GI problems. They're presenting themselves now to you as well. Next, your brain is now stuck in this chronic fight or flight state, so it's going to start to dial up more of those fast brainwave frequencies. Those are more correlated with things like anxiety, which is going to put you on edge. So now you're around all these other people in this anxious state. Maybe you're a bit more grumpy. Maybe you're a bit more on edge. Maybe you're a bit more just irritated because you're in this more anxious state. You're more sensitive to being around crowds. You're a bit more disoriented because your body is not perceiving the environment as a safe place. It's perceiving it as a threat. And that's going to lead you to feeling this heightened sense of insecurity, even in your own home, because again, your brain is perceiving a threat coming from everywhere. So that's going to lead you to this anxious state. Now, because your brain is stuck in this chronic anxious state, you can't wind down at nighttime. So now you're not able to get the proper rest and deep sleep that you need. So you're going to have more chronic fatigue problems because your brain's not producing the necessary energy it needs for the next day in your sleep cycles. So there's your chronic fatigue. And because no drug and no surgery has helped you, now you're depressed because you're looking around going, what the heck can I actually do for myself? So the obvious answer in what comes next is you need to have your nervous system evaluated, and you need to make sure that you're not stuck in this chronic fight or flight state. So finding a practitioner or a healthcare provider who specializes in neurological rehabilitation is going to have a really good understanding of evaluating, are you in fight or flight, or are you in that balanced resting, digesting, and healing mode when you need to be? So the next step is, if you're stuck in this chronic fight or flight state, you need to get yourself back into a resting, relaxation, and healing mode. Things that you can do at home to do that is going to be things like meditation, proper breathing practices, slow movement techniques like yoga, tai chi, or qigong. All those different types of modalities can help to push the nervous system back into a balanced state, but you're also going to have to start to address some of the nutrient deficiencies as well as possible other environmental stressors that are pushing your system into this chronic fight or flight state, which is why I cannot emphasize enough, finding the proper healthcare provider who can understand your neurological function is going to be paramount to guiding you back into the health that you desire. So on that note, you should be healthy by choice, not by chance, and for that reason, I will see you on the next video.